As we begin this meeting, I will ask everyone to please silence cell phones and other electronic devices and remind council that our procedure bylaw prescribes the use of technology during council meetings. At 6:30 p.m., I'll call this council meeting to order. And as we begin this meeting, I acknowledge that we are gathered on the traditional territory of the Mississauga and Anishinaabe. This land holds deep historical, cultural, and spiritual significance for the Mississauga nations, who have been the collective stewards and caretakers of these lands and waters for countless generations. We recognize and honor the enduring connection that the Mississauga and Anishinaabe, now of Alderville, maintain with this land and these waters. We express our gratitude for their stewardship and resilience throughout history. As we deliberate on matters that shape our community's future, we commit ourselves to fostering reconciliation, respect, and partnership with Indigenous neighbors and all Indigenous peoples. May our work reflect a shared vision of understanding, collaboration, and inclusivity as we strive to build a just and thriving community for all. I have a motion moved by Councillor Wright, seconded by Deputy Mayor Anderson, that Council approve the February 17th, 2026 agenda as presented. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Being none opposed, that motion's carried. I will note that we have regrets from Councillors McCausland, Rowley, and Butwell this evening. Members of Council, have any declarations of pecuniary interest, and if so, please state the general nature thereof. There are none noted. Are there any announcements this evening? Councillor Wheeldon?
Thank you, Mayor. I neglected to announce this before we began, but I'm part of a team of Brightonians who are doing the Push-Up Challenge. It's a fundraiser for CMHA. And if you want to sponsor me, you can go to the pushupchallenge.ca and just search for Jeff Wheeldon and make a donation in support of the Canadian Mental Health Association. As of today, I have done 909 push-ups this month, and I've got just over 1,000 to go.
Good for you. It's February 17th. Just no pressure. 11 days, man. Will you send me that link and maybe include all of council in it? Thank you. Any other announcements? I have a few. First, note that the DBIA held their AGM on, I think it was Thursday night last night. It was really well attended. This is a group that, of course, it represents the downtown businesses, but does some incredibly good work in our downtown and good volunteers, just trying to keep a small downtown alive and well. And we continue to wish them well and support them in their endeavors. On Saturday afternoon, we held an event at the community center in support of Hallie Clark. Hallie is an Olympic skeleton slider from Codrington, right here in Brighton. Her grandfather is a captain on our fire department. Her proud, very, very proud grandfather is a captain on our fire department. It was exciting to see the entire family up front watching Hallie whip down an icy waterfall. It's incredible that anyone would actually do that, but even more so that someone from Brighton is in the Olympics. So we congratulate Hallie on getting there and on what she did. And my thanks to Caroline Birch and Vicky Hallam for putting an incredibly fun and spirit-filled event together. It was really nice. And finally, another shout out to staff. Our quick thaw over the weekend has caused some disturbing issues with roadways, as you can imagine. Pothole season is all the time now. So Bill, thank you very much to you and your staff for getting out there and getting those potholes filled in advance of another ice and snowstorm likely coming our way. So we appreciate that. Last chance, members of council, for announcements. Thank you. Moving to the adoption of the minutes, I have a motion moved by Councillor Wheeldon, seconded by Councillor Wright. The council adopt the January 12, 2026 council meeting minutes as presented. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? That motion is carried. And a motion moved by Councillor Wright, seconded by Councillor Wheeldon, that council adopt the February 2nd, 2026 meeting minutes as presented. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Being none opposed, that motion is carried. And a motion moved by Councillor Wright, seconded by Councillor Wheeldon, that council adopt the February 9th, 2026 council planning meeting minutes as presented. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Being none opposed, that motion is carried. We have no statutory public meeting this evening. That brings us to delegations and presentations. Council will hear one delegation this evening. Delegates have 10 minutes to provide council with their information. It is noted that language, content, and conduct must always remain respectful. Council will be provided with an opportunity to ask questions of clarification from the delegation representatives based on the information that they have presented. Council is reminded that this is not an opportunity to engage in debate with the delegate nor advance a public policy position. Delegates are reminded that council does not make decisions during the delegation portion of this evening's meeting. Our only delegation comes from David Forsyth of Cramahe Township with regard to a request for no heavy truck signage on Telephone Road. Mr. Forsyth.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm here tonight to respectfully request that council install no heavy truck signage on Telephone Road along with the authority to enforce that restriction. These roads were never designed or constructed to accommodate heavy commercial truck traffic. They are local township roads intended for residents, agricultural access, school buses, and light service vehicles, not transport trucks. First and foremost, this is a public safety issue. The last time Highway 401 was shut down and heavy trucks used roads like Telephone Road, residents were put in danger. Large trucks have a longer stopping distance, they have limited visibility, and they create unsafe interactions with passenger vehicles, pedestrians, and wildlife. The design and geometry of the roads simply do not support vehicles of this size and weight. Second, heavy trucks place all road users at risk, where a single mistake could have serious or even catastrophic consequences. During the summer months, this risk is significantly compounded by the presence of the KOA campground located on a hill along Telephone Road. And campers, RVs, and passenger vehicles are frequently entering and exiting the roadway at low speeds. These interactions between slow-moving campground traffic and heavy commercial trucks on a steep grade create particularly dangerous situations. We should not wait for a serious collision before taking action. Third, there is an environmental risk. Some of these trucks may be carrying dangerous or hazardous goods. A spill or rollover on roads not designed for containment or rapid emergency response, for that matter, could contaminate nearby land, water courses, and private property. Fourth, there's a significant economic impact to the township. Heavy trucks rapidly damage township roads, causing cracking, rutting, shoulder failure, and drainage issues. This is an abuse of township assets. Assets paid by local taxpayers. The cost of repairing this damage far exceeds the cost of proper signage and enforcement. Fifth, there is a concern for emergency services. During a Highway 401 shutdown, emergency responders are often heavily engaged on the highway. If an emergency occurs within the township, at the same time, response times could be delayed. Lives could be at risk, accesses could be blocked, and it's all because of increased heavy truck traffic on these roads. Importantly, the Ontario Provincial Police currently do not have the authority to stop heavy trucks from using roads like Telephone Road because there is no posted restriction. Once no heavy truck signage is installed, the OPP would have clear authority to enforce it. Officers could stop offending vehicles, involve the Ministry of Transportation, and take appropriate action. Simply put, the signage gives the police the teeth they need to enforce this rule. I have spoken directly with the Ministry of Transportation regarding this issue. As a result of this discussion, the MTO is in the process of moving the emergency detour sign from the north side of Telephone Road, the Telephone Road above the 401, to the south side of Telephone Road. And that is hopefully going to reduce unnecessary heavy truck traffic entering these local roads during highway incidents somewhat. The MTO representative I spoke with was agreeing that installing a no heavy truck signage, it would be beneficial and would significantly improve enforcement capability when detours are activated. Installing no heavy truck signage on Telephone Road is a proactive, responsible, and fiscally sound decision. It protects residents, preserves infrastructure, reduces liability to the township, and enables enforcement. My question to council is, can this matter be brought forward for consideration at the next council meeting? Or can a public input process be initiated as soon as possible? Given the safety, environmental, and infrastructure concerns involved, timely action is clearly in the best interest of the community. I respectfully ask council to consider how this issue can be advanced quickly before another incident forces us to react rather than prevent. Thank you. You have any questions at all I can maybe answer for you?
Thank you, Mr. Forsyth. I will open the floor to members of council who have any questions. I will let you know that Mayors Martin, Logel, and I attended with the parliamentary assistant for the Ministry of Transportation to discuss the very matter of the closure of the 401 and the impact that has on our local roads, but primarily to find a way to not have to close those roads. The quicker expansion of the widening of the roadway of the 401 would be of assistance, which was our primary delegation. You can imagine that fell on deaf ears, but maybe if we offered to build a tunnel under the 401, that would help. I jest, of course. The other concerning issue, of course, is using our fire department trucks as crash trucks on the 401, and how it would help us a lot more if the MTO brought their crash trucks out, would help us keep the highway open if the crash trucks were actually there, and prevent the kind of damage and safety concerns you're talking about. Just so you know also that the motion in front of me does have us referring your delegation to staff so they can consider all of this and bring a report back to council if that's what our council chooses to do tonight. Members of council, any questions of the delegation? Go ahead, Councillor Wheeldon.
Thank you, Mayor. One for you and one for you, Your Worship. Have you noticed truck traffic increasing over the last few years? Is this an ongoing increasing problem?
Yes, it is. I've been there 25 years, and each year it gets worse and worse and worse, and the speeds are climbing. Like, I'm seeing trucks. I race cars, and I'm a good judge of speed. I see transports, dump trucks going down the road 120, 130, 140K. And if somebody pulls out of the driveway, they're dead.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
I used to be a trucker, and so I understand how long it takes to stop if you're going that
Yeah, yeah.
fast. And I don't think I've ever gone that fast in a dump truck. Question for you, Mayor. We had at one point been requesting upgrades to Telephone Road so that it could handle truck traffic. Can you let us know what happened with that?
Sure. We did not receive the $20 million federal grant we were seeking in order to do so. And for better or worse, I mean, for better, because of course the upgrade would mean more truck traffic would be permitted on the road, and for worse, of course, because when the truck traffic does divert there, regardless of what the signage says, because their GPS tells them it's okay to do so, and doesn't recognize that there's big hills everywhere. Of course, we damage the roads and create the safety concerns that Mr. Forsyth's talking about. Mr. Forsyth, can you provide us with your MTO contact? It's always helpful to have more.
Do you want a name, or like the name was John Snary. First name is spelled Jon.
Yeah. Do you know how to spell his last name?
Snary.
Do you have other contact information?
No, I've spoken. I don't know who Gord Fletcher is, if he's here.
Okay.
Or
so Gord has John's contact info?
I'm not sure if he does or not, but I can give it. Are you Gord?
No.
Oh,
Director Lennon? Go ahead.
Sorry.
Thank you, and through you, Mayor. I have been in contact with the MTO as well. We were on the same wavelength about the large EDR sign, moving it south of Telephone Road, and it's my understanding through the individual I spoke to at the MTO that is in the works. It might be after the frost is out of the ground, but the MTO do have intent to do that. And they've contacted their traffic office to contact me directly because we have some other requests for signage potentially on the off ramps so people can see where they need to turn before they get to the intersection, things like that. So we're proposing that to the MTO. We'll see what they say. We've also had discussions with the county, and they're looking at enhanced signing on County Road 30 to keep heavy traffic off our other roads. Telephone Road isn't the only road we're experiencing this issue on in the municipality, but we are in contact with the MTO, and we do plan to pursue that.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Director Linden. That's Gord's boss, just so you know. Perfect, perfect. So he's on board. Just so you know, I live on Little Lake Road, so I'm
okay.
the southern issue of my northern telephone road neighbors. And I can sit in my family room, which is at the back of my house, and say to my wife, "Oh, 401's closed." Because I heard the third truck go by,
Yeah.
right? And we never hear trucks on Little Lake Road unless there's an issue on the 401. So, any other questions from members of council? Thank you, Mr. Forsyth. We appreciate your time.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.
I have a motion moved by Councillor Wright, seconded by Deputy Mayor Anderson, that council refer to staff the delegation from David Forsyth, 14747 Telephone Road, Cramahe, requesting council to install no heavy truck signage on Telephone Road, along with the authority to enforce that restriction. Is there any discussion on the motion? All in favor? There being none opposed, that motion is carried. And CAO, the motion does not request a report back, but I think it's implied, right? Okay, thank you. Madam Clerk, are there any citizens' comments this evening? Thank you. That brings us to staff reports. The first report is with regard to downtown banners. Madam Clerk, we've read your report. Do you have anything to add or highlight?
Thank you, Your Worship. Not at this time.
Thank you. A motion moved by Councillor Wheeldon, seconded by Councillor Wright, the council authorize staff to provide assistance to install the student art initiative and that the cost associated be covered as a gesture of support. Is there any discussion? Just to say, I appreciate council's wish to go down this road. I think it's an important initiative. It's a good initiative, and I love seeing the kids' artwork throughout downtown and in Smithfield. All those in favor? There being none opposed, that motion's carried. The next report is with regard to updates to election sign bylaw. Deputy Clerk, we've read your report. Do you have anything to add or highlight?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Nothing further at this time.
Thank you. I have a motion moved by Councillor Wright, seconded by Deputy Mayor Anderson, that council approve the recommended changes to the election sign bylaws. Is there any discussion? All in favor? There being none opposed, that motion's carried. Next report is a CAO ongoing report and capital projects update. CAO, we've read your report. Is there anything to add or highlight?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, just with regard to the two items that have been pushed off to March, the pet control bylaw, initially, staff did have that drafted and ready to go. I happened to be in a meeting with the other CAOs in Northumberland County who expressed some concerns that they were having currently. So I've asked staff to go back and just clarify some of those issues. So that's the delay on that, but you will see that come back in March. And the school bus funding, we're just still trying to gather some information before staff comes back, but you'll have that in March as well.
Thank you for that. And staff are waiting for me on the school bus funding. I was finally able to herd the parent council chair Katz, and we sat down and had that conversation last week. Sometime this week, they're supposed to get me some numbers that I can provide to staff for their report to bring back to council. Motion, the motion is moved by Councillor Wright, seconded by Deputy Mayor Anderson, that council receive the CAO ongoing report and capital projects update. Is there any discussion? Those in favor? Being none opposed, that motion's carried. There's a notice of motion listed on the agenda and will be read as a motion at the next meeting. We have nothing listed under unfinished business, which brings us to bylaws. The only bylaw before us this evening is with regard to the regulate place and use of election signs. It's moved by Councillor Wheeldon, seconded by Deputy Mayor Anderson, that council gives a bylaw its first, second, and third reading and finally passes on this date. Being a bylaw to regulate the place and use of election signs within the municipality of Brighton and repeal bylaw 037/2022. Is there any discussion? All in favor? There being none opposed, that motion's carried. That brings us to reports and minutes of advisory committees of council and review teams. The first comes from our Heritage Advisory Committee, the February 9th meeting. This is a recommendation. Councilor McCausland is not here. Is Councilor McCausland the only council representative? Yes. Deputy Clerk, you're the staff representative or the staff secretary at that meeting?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and through you, yes, I am. Manager of Approvals, Ron Warren is the staff liaison. However, I'm happy to speak to or answer any questions about the recommendation of the committee.
Thank you. I do have a motion moved by Councilor Wright, seconded by Deputy Mayor Anderson, that council support the recommendation from the Heritage Advisory Committee regarding a history display, and that council direct staff to investigate options and locations of a possible history display and report back to council. Questions or comments from members of council? All in favor? There being none opposed, that motion's carried. Thank you all. Next item is the committee minutes of the Heritage Committee minutes of September 22nd. It's moved by Councilor Wright, seconded by Deputy Mayor Anderson, that council receive the following committee of council meeting minutes as presented. Heritage Advisory Committee, September 22nd, 2025. Is there any discussion? All in favor? There being none opposed, that motion's carried. That brings us to reports and minutes of statutory committees, boards, and external agencies. We have two this evening to consider. The first are the DBIA meeting minutes of May 8th, June 12th, July 10th, September 11th, and October 9th in 2025. It's moved by Councilor Wright, seconded by Deputy Mayor Anderson, that council receive the following meeting minutes from the DBIA as presented. May 8th, 2025, June 12th, 2025, July 10th, 2025, September 11th, 2025, and October 9th, 2025. Is there any discussion? All in favor? There being none opposed, that motion's carried. And from the Brighton Public Library, the minutes of November 26th, it's moved by Councilor Wright, seconded by Deputy Mayor Anderson, that council received the November 26, 2025 Brighton Public Library Board meeting minutes as presented. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? That motion's carried. That brings us to correspondence, direction items, endorsements, communications, and petitions. The first comes from Ontario One Call Unified Mapping Initiative. It's moved by Councillor Wheeldon, seconded by Deputy Mayor Anderson. The council received the resolution regarding the Ontario One Call's Unified Mapping Initiative as attached and referred to staff for a report. Is there any discussion? All in favor? There being none opposed, that motion's carried. And from the County of Prince Edward, I have a motion moved by Councillor Wheeldon, seconded by Deputy Mayor Anderson, that council support the County of Prince Edward resolution regarding support for Bill 21, Protect Our Food Act 2025. Is there any discussion? Go ahead, Councillor Wheeldon.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to point out that our Environmental Sustainability Advisory Committee has also supported this. And what it would do is establish a food belt similar to the Green Belt, but recognizing the role that farmland plays in communities like ours and our local economies, our sustainability as a community, access to food, all of those really important things. As it stands, we lose something like 3 football fields worth of farmland every single day in this province. And we are not food self-sufficient, even though we are farming communities. So the loss of farmland is a difficult and accelerating problem, and having additional protection in the same way that the Greenbelt protects some spaces would be really a boon to us here in Northumberland.
Thank you, Councillor Wheeldon. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor? There being none opposed, that motion is carried. And the next correspondence comes from the Presqu'île Pirates Hockey Club. It's moved by Councillor Wright, seconded by Councillor Wheeldon, that council support the request from the Presqu'île Pirates Hockey Club to reduce the ice rental fees for their annual tournament March 21st, 2026. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Being none opposed, that motion is carried. We have nothing listed under FYI correspondence. That brings us to question period. If anyone in the gallery has a question with anything that appeared on tonight's agenda, please let me know. You approach the microphone, please. And introduce yourself.
Sonia Coe.
Hi, Sonia.
And I live on Telephone Road west of Highway 30. So with regard to all of the transports that come, so the last time we had a snowstorm, we live right near the KOA. So we had transports up the front of us, transports up the back of us. And there's about 4 of us right in that little area that if we wanted a fire, ambulance, police, nobody would have got there. That's a huge concern. Like we're hostage. And it's, I'm just adding to what these people are saying. Like they, they don't even live in Brighton Township and they're coming with all these concerns. It's really important for us to have this changed. And another thing that I did notice that on the Telephone Road that's by the McDonald's, so going east, they have 40 kilometers an hour, 60 kilometers an hour. Ours is 60 and 80. And they have no heavy truck sign, like immediately. So I don't know how, how that works, whether it's the amount of people that live there or the amount of people in a certain area, like.
I can tell you how that happened east.
Okay.
When we resurfaced the roadway, that portion of roadway between County Roads 26 and County Road 30, we put the no heavy truck sign up to endeavor to keep the garbage trucks off of that road so that they would go down 30 and up 26, use the county roads for that purpose and stay off the municipal. It didn't work.
No.
Just so you know, it
'Cause
didn't work.
I know.
And it's also why we lowered the speed limit to 40 to disincent them from using the road. It just made everybody else mad.
But
Quite frankly.
good thing because the crest of that hill is pretty dangerous as well. So when it was resurfaced, it wasn't very helpful. Anyway, that's all I have to say. I really love living here and we've been here about 9 years and but that's in the time that we've lived here, it's just getting worse and worse and worse. And the speeds are getting faster. I know this isn't about speed, but these transports are really just they're right in front of people's driveways and locking everybody right up.
I think it was the snowstorm of Christmas Eve 2024.
Yeah.
2024 that really brought this, that really highlighted these issues along Telephone and Little Lake roads in particular, in both directions. And both municipalities, both Cramahe and Brighton are feeling the same pain. So it's not an issue that will go away anytime soon, but it is an issue that is top of mind for both of our municipalities. And I can assure you that no need to be sorry and also no need to be nervous.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. But I can assure you that both public works departments will be working together in tune with the County of Northumberland and the MTO to try to find the best solution for this. And that's why we've asked staff to bring back a report so that we can endeavor to do what's best for from a 10,000 foot level from a strategic level, what's best for the community, as well as for your roadway and your neighborhood. Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else with a question? Go ahead, come on up.
Catherine Samus, Telephone Road.
Hi, Catherine.
I'm the first house on the left as you go over the hill. I'm the first one to let everybody know the nightmare has began. My concern is when the trucks are stuck there, they tend to come to your door and they need this and they need that. And being as I live alone, like my mom's like, don't you, like that Christmas you talked about, she's like, don't you dare open your door, let any of those people in, and that type of thing. But the other part of it is I have to close off my driveway because 2 years ago I had a transport, and this had just happened on Little Lake with the bus. They try to think because you keep a nice clean area that they can turn around there. And my biggest fear is them doing what happened with the bus, just getting stuck there. So, yeah, but it's funny because they come up, but there's no sign anywhere either to let them, like, they can't decide, hey, am I going to give her? Like, they don't know what the road is. Like, we're just kind of setting them up to fail because they turn on. And once they're up the corner, they're like, shoot, like, what am I going to do now? Because now there's trucks behind them and there's buses but it just blows my mind that the first one will go and get stuck. And then I'm trying to get my boots on and get out there. And I'm like, no, like you're going to block us in. But they're just, the next one will give her and get stuck. But the third guy, he's the one going to make it. And then he gives it a go. Like, I got this on video, pictures. It's insanity, which Pete Fisher captured. And I appreciate all that council does. I just wanted to let you know, it is a bit of a safety concern as well, because they do come to your door seeing if you can help them and that type of thing. But yeah, so whatever you can do, it would be greatly appreciated. And I've been there 18 years, so
Twice as.
I've seen it all.
Thank you for that. And it's precisely why we need to make sure we're working with Cramahe, because whatever we do, they need to do in order to make sure the whole roadway, because there's no sense us doing something and then the vehicles come down and, 3/4 of the way down Telephone Road, they see a sign saying no trucks. They're already there. They're already committed, right? And so I have seen on my road everything you are describing, everything. The behavior is bizarre. I don't know what it is about a snowstorm that makes people go a little insane as they try to drive their giant vehicles down a tiny little roadway. Are there any other questions from members of the gallery? Do you have a question? Do you want to pretend you're just in the gallery? Go ahead.
My question is there any way to connect with the powers that be, Google Maps, Waze Maps, that put some sort of prohibition on certain roads?
So the problem with Waze and Google Maps is that they are citizen driven. So the information is plugged in by the folks driving. And that's how they get diverted onto these roads they shouldn't be on, right? It's also why you know that there's a police officer 300 meters ahead or a crash, right? So the answer is no. We can't tell them what to do because it's a populist based system that we populate on an ongoing basis. Go ahead, Councillor Wilden.
To that point, Mayor, once a sign is up, then we can start reporting it on Google Maps ourselves.
100%. And all emergency services can and public works can. And the more people that do that, the more we can get the road closed under the Google system. So, yeah. Any other questions from the gallery or members of council? Is there anyone on Zoom for that purpose? Thank you. I have a motion to proceed into closed session. If council chooses to do so, we will take a 10-minute recess before we carry on. It's moved by Councillor Wright, seconded by Councillor Wheeldon, that council resolve into closed session February 17th, 2026 at 7:03 p.m. Pursuant to the Ontario Municipal Act RSO 2001 as amended subsection 239(2)B, personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal and local board employees, specifically committee appointments. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? That motion is carried. It is 7:03. We will reconvene at transition to the open session. Thank you. I have a motion moved by Councillor Wright, seconded by Councillor Wheeldon, that Council rise and report from closed session February 17th, 2026 at 7:26 p.m. in accordance with Section 239(2)(b) of the Ontario Municipal Act 2001 to discuss matters pertaining to personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal and local board employees, committee appointments for Applefest Steering Committee and Environmental Sustainability Advisory Committee, and the council received confidential information from staff regarding the above matters, and the council hereby appoints the following members to the various committees as outlined below: Applefest Steering Committee, Becky McDonald and Carly Lowe's; Environmental Sustainability Advisory Committee, Dan Riggs and Ian Shanahan. And further, that a procedural motion to adopt the closed session minutes of February 2nd and February 9th, 2026 as presented was voted on during the closed session. Is there any discussion? All in favor? There being none opposed, that motion is carried. And our confirmatory bylaw, moved by Councillor Wheeldon, seconded by Councillor Wright. The council gives a bylaw its first, second, and third reading and finally passes on this date. Being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the Corporation of the Municipality of Brighton Council meeting held on February 17th, 2026. Is there any discussion? All in favor? There being none opposed, that motion is carried. And a motion that moved by Councillor Wright, seconded by Deputy Mayor Anderson, that the February 17th, 2026 council meeting adjourn at 7:27 p.m. Is there any discussion? All in favor? There being none opposed, that motion is carried. Safe drive home. Good luck tomorrow. God save